Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, whatever it is that you might be celebrating. Thank you so much for stopping by the Wild Boar Show. This is indeed December 1, the day that we are recording this quick episode. And I say quick episode because we have an upcoming jam-packed schedule the month of December. So I just want to say thank you. Excuse me. Thank you to everyone who dropped by, everybody who's subscribed. It's been absolutely fantastic. And I want to thank all of my guests. I want to thank David McKinley from the VFW. Sergeant Major, I should say, David McKinley from the VFW. Thank you very much, David, for swinging by. Thomas King Jr. from the Florida Firearms Academy. Kristen Bonnier from West Park Mortgage. Goodness gracious, we had our friends from Tampa Bay Brewing Company, Major Aslin and Anthony were there. That was amazing. We had a fun time, two-parter there. We went over to the Badass Beer Festival. I ran into former Mayor Doug Beavis, good old Beavis, and he reminded me that once a mayor, always a mayor. So Mayor Beavis, and we also ran into Sharon Edwards from Life is a Donation, and we'll talk about that in just a second. David Doble from Tampa Bay Brewing Company, one of the founder, I guess. There we go. Kip Kelly from Crooked Thumb. We'll talk about that again in a second. Our good friend Jessica Wright, who has been an absolute great sport and let us go 60 feet in the air to the top platform on a cold and windy day to talk about Empower Adventures. James Poulter, my good friend and recent award recipient as one of the top 100 CEOs in the Tampa Bay area. He's in great company from the Chichi Rodriguez Youth Foundation. Marty Higginbotham, the man, the legend, the Hall of Fame auctioneer Marty Higginbotham, and then soon to be, I would think, one day, Mr. Evan Mink, also a couple of great auctioneer friends of mine, stopped by. And of course, cannot forget for a second our friend Stacy Sutton, who had an absolute hoot of an episode, one of our most fun episodes. They're all fun, but that was one of the greatest. It was so much fun. Damian Condrotis, the president of the Oldsmar Little League, and of course, most recently we had Katie Gannon, the current mayor of Oldsmar. And tomorrow, which is the 2nd of December, we'll post those up this week. I'm very privileged to have an interview, an opportunity to do a show, probably 2 episodes with, I'll say, Mayor Eric Seidel. So once a mayor, always a mayor. He happened to pop into town specifically for the Wild Boar Show. Okay, there was a Bucks game too. He's doing that as well. But we're going to have a great time talking to him about his company, what he's done, what he's doing now, the great city of Oldsmar. I know that we talk a lot about the great city of Oldsmar, and that's because it is a great city. And I'm going to tell you, many of you said hello to us on Facebook. Just pretty proud of Christopher, is my son. He's 9.5 years old. And the quick story about how that whole thing went down. Last year, he loves baseball. So in the spring of 2024, he said, Dad, I want to buy this Hype Fire bat. I said, okay. Then I saw the price of the Hype Fire bat. It was $350. And I said, all right, well, you're going to earn this thing. So I decided I'd give him a couple extra chores around the house. And he asked if he could have a lemonade stand. Well, fast forward, Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton put 10 inches of water in our house. And the studio that I'm sitting in right now actually had 10 inches of water in it. And that sort of delayed the lemonade stand. So we decided, even though we were living in an RV in the front yard, why not? Let's do a cocoa stand. So we did a cocoa and cider stand, and everybody came out. And he was able to raise enough money to buy his bat. Well, he didn't know what he was going to do with the extra money. And as any 9-year-old at the time, 8-year-old would, he said, Dad, can I get a glove as well? And I said, you can ask Santa Claus for that. Why don't we do something else? He said, how about we do something where we give the kids at Christmas that don't have anything? So by golly, we went and bought a handful of bikes for Kids Pedal Power. And that is closely aligned with the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce and our good friend Mark Howe over there. And we were able to show up and drop off a few bikes. So this year, he wanted to have another bat. Folks, they don't seem to go down in price. They go up. It's worse than buying a driver for your golf bag, for goodness sakes. Well, he wanted another one. He wanted a Rainbow Hype Fire or an Arctic Ice or something like that Hype Fire. And I said, well, you don't want to ice down your bat, for goodness sakes. It's been a little chilly anyway. He's a heck of a pitcher, but he struggles sometimes with his bat. But he's getting better. So wouldn't you know it, we were at a tournament and a couple months ago in Largo, baseball tournament, and there was a raffle. And wouldn't you know it, they're raffling off the Hype Fire that he wants. We bought one ticket, and I, with all the kids that were there and everybody that was there, never ever thought we'd win the bat. We won the bat. So now it's that time of year where Christmas is upon us. Merry Christmas to all of you. And he asked if he can do the cocoa stand again, second annual. And I said, well, what are you going to do with the money? And he says, well, why don't we do the bikes again? I said, let's do it. So we just had a fantastic cocoa stand this Saturday. People came from all over. People Venmoed money. We appreciate all of the donations. And we just dropped off 6 bikes. We probably could have gotten A little bit more, but Christopher had one in there that he really, really liked, and it was little bit more expensive. So, with all the kids are going to have a bicycle for Christmas, obviously, as a result of his efforts. But one's going to have a super, super special, absolutely crazy bicycle, and there's an array of it, and the photos are on Facebook, and it was really, really a neat thing. So we were able to do that, and some of the donations are still coming in. And if you want to Venmo to him, we will do this up until the 15th of December. I have to have the bikes to Mark Howe over at the old Upper Tampa Bay. I almost called it Oldsmar Chamber. Old Habits Die Hard, the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, so that we can get them delivered. And it's at Michelle-Bohr. All right. And that is indeed the Venmo address. So if you want to Venmo, you can do that. You can call us. You can do that. I thought, you know what? Let's do something kind of fun. I thought I'd tell a joke that you could tell at the table this Christmas. It's a lot of fun. I heard this joke probably 15, 20 years ago at my uncle's house from a neighbor, and I absolutely loved it. So here we go. There's a large Italian family dinner, and everybody's having a nice time. And the matriarch says, "This is so nice to have the whole family here. I think, Mario, you should get up and tell the story of a Jesus." So Mario, the firstborn, I'm sorry, the youngest, I guess, gets up and he says, "Sure, Mom." He says, "Jesus was a very, very nice man. And every year on December the 24th, he get this group of flying donkeys. And he strings them up to this wagon, and he fills the wagon full of all kinds of toys, the prizes, and the yo-yos, and the toys, and the candies, all for the kids. And when they go to sleep at night, he flies the donkeys all around the world, and he drops them off outside underneath the bush. And when they wake up, they have all, sit down, you idiot, Mario. You embarrassed me. That is not the story of a Jesus. Salvador, can you please tell the story of it? Jesus, please help me." So he gets up. He's the middle son. He says, "Yes. All right, Mom, I got it." He says, "You know, Jesus was a very, very nice man. And sometime every year in a March, sometime in a April, he dress up in a giant rabbit suit. He get in this bunny suit and he got a magic basket. And he filled the basket full of the toys and all the candies and the yo-yos and all kind of things. And he hops around at night when all the kids are sleeping across the world, and he drops off these little miniature baskets. So when the kids wake up, they have the little mini baskets, and that's the story of a Jesus." "Sit down," she says. "Sit down." Finally, she looks over and she says, "Salvador, Sal, can you please tell the story of a Jesus? The real story of a Jesus?" He says, "Sure, Mom." And things got somber and quiet. And he stood up and he said, "Jesus was a very, very nice man. He was a very nice man. He was so nice, almost too nice, that he scared people. And people really were afraid of him. So they nailed him to a cross and they killed the Jesus. And they took him down from the cross and they put him inside a cave and they covered the cave with a greater, bigger rock. And after 3 days, the Jesus, he'll wake up and he'll move with the rock and he'll step outside. And if he'll see a shadow, he get a 6 more weeks of winter." They're even laughing in this studio. I love it. Sure. You can. I love that joke. I've told it for years and years and years, friends. I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. I want to make some reminders, too. These are silly reminders, things that we forget to do all the time. Number one, change the crumb tray in your toaster. Trust me, you haven't done it in a while. Change it. It's Christmas, for goodness sakes. People are going to be coming over, and you don't want to have crumbs in your tray. All right. The second thing you need to do, and you should be doing this every single month, is you should change the filters in your air conditioning unit. Trust me when I tell you this. I know it's a pain. Put it down, do it. All right. Third thing, unless you have a service, put the salt in the water softener. You got to do that. If you're wondering what's going on with that, it's because you didn't put any salt in there. All right. And the last one, of course, I know some of you have all these magic ways to power them up, but good old batteries in the smoke alarm, folks. There you go. That's your public service announcement. All right. Upcoming schedule tomorrow. I think I already told you this, but we've got Eric Seidel, Mayor Eric Seidel. He's going to drop by. And then coming up, when I come back, I'm going to be taking a little break with the family this weekend. And when we come back, we're going to be recording the 12 days of Christmas cocktails with our friend Stacy Sutton from Hook, Line, and Drinker. Stacy was nice enough to come by. She's the one we had a great, great time. So we have cocktails for you leading all the way up to Christmas, and you'll be able to loop and repeat them, and they'll be maybe 4 or 5 minutes long, so that you can we'll go nice and slow, and you can actually watch those. The next thing we're going to do is another thing that we're going to do is a 15 tips getting ready to buy or sell a home in the new year in 2026. So my friend Kristen Bonnier from West Park Mortgage is going to come over and talk to me and talk to you all about certain things that you should do. Talk about your credit, talk about getting your house prepared, and we'll talk about auctions, and we'll talk to real estate agents that might be interested in working with an auctioneer. We'll talk about the different levels of sellers, and we're going to make this stuff in very, very short segments. One of the other plans that we have is to go and celebrate the Dave Thomas Foundation. The Dave Thomas is the founder of Wendy's Corporation, and Dave Thomas actually runs or is named after he's passed away, but he has the Dave Thomas Foundation, and it is an adoption centric foundation, and I'm assuming they're international at this point, been around for a long, long time, and helped dozens and dozens and thousands and thousands and thousands of kids. And I don't know that he personally helped me, but I can tell you that I'm an adopted guy, and I adopted a son myself, and it's a beautiful thing. So, hey, you know what? A better Christmas present than, hey, we got a baby. There's a couple ways you could go about that. Imagine her surprise when you put the little baby underneath the tree, right? Anyway, listen, I thank you all very, very much for swinging by. I also want to tell you that coming up, I have a big announcement to make, and we're going to make that announcement on the first week of January. I'm actually going to begin a publication. It's not begin, but I actually accepted a franchise. I can't tell you anything more about it, but it is a publication that indeed will target the folks that you were trying to reach. These are super, super affluent homeowners, all right, business owners, that type of thing, and in a direct response so that they can actually put their hands on your message and see it and come and visit you. That's really all I have for today, friends. I've got a lot going on. We're troubleshooting some fun stuff. It will get better. I know it will. I thank you all so much for your kind words, your comments. And I just wanted to say thank you to my buddy Trent Warnock, who's been my executive producer. He's been here since I had the helmet on a month ago when we were under construction. I think it's an ongoing deal. It's kind of like the Disney World project. It never really ends. We're going to always evolve this show. And as long as you all keep watching and you keep subscribing and you keep telling me that it's good, then by golly, we'll keep doing it. I thank you all so very, very much for stopping by. Please visit the other videos, like, subscribe, and no matter what you do this season, try and pack a little bit of patience, make the world a better place. I'm Chris, the Wild Boar. Merry Christmas. We're out.